Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining our session today. This is the first official edition of what we are calling Procurify Spotlight, a twice per year product showcase webinar that recaps what's new over the past 6 months and teases a little bit about what is coming next. Before we get into it today, we are really excited to share some very recent news. We have actually again been named a mid-market leader by G2, a business software review site, for winter 2026. We have ranked number one in many key categories, including most implementable, best usability, and most importantly, best results, reflecting how we are delivering real-world value for our customers. So we are very excited to be recognized in this new Winter 2026 report from G2. And as we kick into it, a few housekeeping notes here. First, as you will see, this webinar is being recorded, and we will share this recording out with you in a follow-up email over the next day or so. So check your email for that if you want to watch back this session. We will also have time for a live question and answer period. So please feel free to add your questions at any time during this webinar. We will circle back on them at the end of this presentation. We have a dedicated block there, but you can submit those questions using the Q&A button in Zoom. So you'll see that there. So submit your questions. We may answer some via text on the call, but we'll make sure that we circle back on them live on the webinar today as well. So look forward to that. Get your questions in as they pop up as we walk through the slides and demos today. And then finally, since this is the first official Spotlight webinar, we want to hear your feedback. We want to make this series that we're going to continue to deliver over time the most valuable that it can be for you. So please share feedback with your customer success managers. Let them know any ways that we could improve this session, and we will make sure that we incorporate that in future Spotlight webinars. We have a full house presenting today. Our Chief Product and Technology Officer, Jonathan, is here, as are many of the product managers on his team. They will be leading all of the demos you'll be seeing here today. We also have a few product marketers on the call, including myself, as well as Matt and Amelia. They'll be leading a few of the new release slides as we walk through them. Okay, so here is the agenda for today. We'll start by walking through the updates across each workflow in the procurement lifecycle, from intake to approve, to purchase to receive, and invoice to pay. We'll then highlight what's new in cards and expenses, as many organizations use Procurify not just for procurement, but also to manage their team's business expenses. Then we will shift into what's new in insights and integrations, and Jonathan will finish off with a brief overview of our vision of the Procurify product. And of course, as I said, we'll save time at the end for live Q&A. So let's now get into it, and I will pass the mic over to Amelia.
All right, thanks, Josh. So the first workflow we are going to be talking about is the intake to approve workflow. So we're showcasing enhancements and new functionality to enhance flexibility and streamline workflows to overall speed up cycle times. And I'm excited to talk about AI intake for orders, which was a large launch in Q4 last year. So AI intake for orders is an approach to intake that uses AI to automatically convert vendor quotes into accurate purchase requests. So instead of having to manually enter each line item to create that purchase request, you can now upload a quote and AI will extract the key financial details and descriptions for you. And this is a significant enhancement, as about 40% of orders requested within Procurify contain some form of quote attachment. So requesters will be able to save time and reduction of manual entry, reduce the risk of human error, as well as have the overall request experience improved. And as mentioned before, this feature went live to our customer community back in December, and this week it is entering its beta phase to becoming available to more customers. And to provide a demo of this, I'll pass it off to Anand, our product manager for AI analytics, so you can see it in action.
Thanks, Amelia. Let me start by sharing my screen. Okay, so you know that creating order requests manually can be a repetitive task, especially when you're copying information from a vendor code into a digital form AI intake for orders is designed to handle the data entry for you and save you precious time. In this case, I can simply upload a PDF code. So instead of typing every line item, a requester can simply upload their PDF code. Our AI scans the document and automatically fills in the draft request, including order description and then quantities and pricing. It even identifies the vendor from which you're purchasing this product. The requester's job shifts from a data entry into a simple review workflow. They can check the accuracy, make necessary tweaks, and submit the order request. This feature is currently in beta, as Amelia mentioned, to ensure the technology is performing exactly as expected. From here, we'll move into a stable, reliable experience. I'll now hand it over to Amelia to talk about editing header fields. Thank you.
Thanks, Anand. Love to see all the fire emojis in the chat as well. Another enhancement that we've made to the workflow is the ability to edit header requests, header details on pending orders. So this feature also came out in winter 2025, and being able to edit this solves a huge pain point for customers when requests would originally come in with simple mistakes sometimes, and the entire workflow would need to be resubmitted because neither requester nor approver could make those changes. Now, having the ability to edit this now means that the workflows do not need to be delayed because of human error, which happens. And it's also removing the need for any duplicative work in that submitting and then resubmitting workflow. Next slide, please. And another improvement we've made on that same theme of flexibility is turning the approval portion of this workflow into a flexible first action win system. And by that, I mean, imagine after a request has been submitted, in the past, the approver was one individual and they were the only one that was able to respond. Now, with approval pools, the request can be configured to go to a group of individuals, and only one person in that group needs to approve it for it to go to the next stage. This cuts down on delays, especially if people are out of office, and will speed up the overall workflows. I'll now pass it off to Riley, our product manager for purchasing, to take us through a demo.
Thanks, Amelia, and good afternoon, everyone. Let me share my screen and walk you through approval pools. So approval pools are great for a situation like this where I've got multiple eligible approvers on my request for order, both of whom could approve this order, but I don't know necessarily who would respond faster to this request. And so previously, I would have to choose one and just hope that Steve would see this request quickly. But now with approval pools, you can set up certain routing groups as what we call pools, where instead of selecting an individual approver, you assign the request to all level 1 approvers, which means that in this case, whether Ashley or DeMarcus sees the email first, they will be able to action this request and get it moving on to the next step, so I get what I need faster. So that is approval pools in action. This can be turned on in your approval routing settings just by turning on this switch right here called approval pools. Another exciting change that's coming very soon, a little teaser for something that's coming down the pike, is building off of what you just saw with our AI quote extraction feature. This is really just the beginning of what will be a really exciting year for intake in Procurify. We are completely redesigning the requesting experience with a more modern interface that is both more intuitive and familiar for occasional requesters and more powerful and efficient for people who put in multiple requests per day. It's going to build upon the context-aware AI that you just saw in Anand's demo, and it'll bring that and more to all types of intake, punch-outs, catalogs, and even manual entry. We are in development on this next generation intake experience already, and we'll be sharing more details as we get closer to release. Back to you, Amelia.
Thanks, Riley. So now let's talk about the enhancements we've made to the within the purchase to receive workflow. So increased flexibilities for users within Procurify is a recurring theme, as you have seen, and this continues with the ability to modify purchase orders here. Now, for purchase orders that are active or partially billed, you can edit details as required to adapt for changing business needs. This is especially useful for blanket POs, where they often cover long-term agreements and may be renegotiated, which will then need to be edited to stay up to date. And this enhancement also allows you to maintain a single accurate source of truth, ensure a clean audit trail, and keep your financial data in sync with your ERP while preventing overpayment and maintaining budget compliance. So passing it back to Riley to do a deeper dive on this.
Thanks, Amelia. So this change might look simple on the surface, just an edit button becoming clickable. But if we go to the next slide, we'll take a look at what's possible now with both one-time and blanket items. Regular one-time items can now be edited even when they've been partially received or billed, which wasn't possible before. And blanket items have become significantly more flexible, now being editable after approval, after purchase, and after partial receiving or billing. And this isn't just flexibility for the sake of it. As Amelia mentioned, the nature of blanket items is that they're long-term agreements and business needs can change over time. So enabling these items to be edited even after partial receiving means that as your business needs and agreements change, you can adjust blanket items to reflect the resulting change in the value of your PO. This avoids really frustrating workarounds like having to cancel and reissue POs with different PO numbers for the same spend, which is a headache for both you and your vendors. And if we go to the next slide, another sneak peek at something that's coming out soon. In fact, it's coming right now. Another feature that we're excited to be rolling out is a big upgrade to order status tracking. This new feature provides real-time visibility into your order's progress from request to receipt, showing clear status updates at each stage of the procurement process. You can see who has approved, what's been purchased, and how many have been received. And this feature is, as I mentioned, currently rolling out to all customers and will be available to everyone within the next week. We're actually already working on the next version, an enhancement to this feature, which will allow requesters to see the full approval chain as soon as a request is submitted. This will provide even more clarity on what stands between you and getting what you requested. So that is coming out right now. Back to Matt to talk about the next step of the process.
Hello, everyone. Josh, if you can go to the next slide. So the goal at Procurify has always been to make procure to pay more efficient. And so one of the things we did in 2025 was we tried to remove the manual friction in the accounts payable process. So we did this by introducing pagination, which means that you can look at 100 items between your bills and POs in one screen, so that you don't have to go back and forth between them to find what you're looking for. In addition to this, we launched advanced bill filters, so you can quickly find what you're looking for by filtering across multiple vendors, locations, and departments. Next slide, Josh. So once you figure out which bills you're trying to process, you can easily match multiple invoice items and bills to a single PO. And through our smarter PO matching, bill items will now automatically pull the correct account code from the PO, so you don't have to recategorize bills after you've matched them. And the other thing we've done for accounts payable is we've allowed a toggle between 2 or 3-way matching to allow you to enforce the invoice requirements that meet your company's individual spend culture. And when you're ready to export the data, we've launched granular filtering options so that you can filter different kinds of reports through your accounts payable. And with that, I'll pass it over to Fred, who will demo some of the features that we've launched in 2025.
Thanks, Matt. I'm Fred, and I'm from the product team, and I want to show you 2 examples of new features: multi-item invoice matching and improved bill filters. So let's start with matching. Let's say you had a PO from Apple to buy 3 MacBooks, and you already received those MacBooks, and now it's time for you to process the invoice. So let's go to invoice. And I can see here that I just received that invoice from Apple. Our AI-driven OCR already auto-filled all the data for me, but I see something odd. I see that I had one single line item for the 3 MacBooks in my PO, but Apple actually sent me an invoice with the MacBooks in 3 different line items. So what should I do now? Procurify now gives you the flexibility to handle these use cases in 2 ways. The first way is if the 2 items were actually meant to be one, you can now merge them into a single line item. So 2500 with 2500, if I merge them, I'll see like in the combined cost of 5,000. I can even have the more flexibility to edit the information of the line item. So that's kind of the first way. And the second way is matching multiple line items into a single PO line item. So what I mean with this is I select all the 3 line items from the invoice, select the PO I want to match, and click match. This will match all the 3 line items from the invoice into a single PO line item. This feature not only makes your life easier with these types of bills, but also streamlines your workflow for blanket POs as well. Let's get to the second part, improve bill filters. So let me go here to Approve tab. When searching for bills, you might be responsible for bills for a specific department or a group of vendors. And until now, you didn't have an easy way to find your bills. That's why we're introducing 3 new bill filters. Multiple vendors to let you select bills from a group of vendors, location, which scans individual line items tied to a location, and department, which also works on a line item level. Let me show you how it works. Let's say it's not with multi-vendor filtering. Let's say I handle bills from both Acme and Amazon. Before, I was just going to click on Acme and see the Acme bills here. But now I can select a group of vendors, so I can combine it with Amazon. And now I can see bills for both Acme and Amazon. So I can see 56 bills here, both Acme and Amazon combined. And you can also, if you manage this vendors on a weekly basis, on monthly basis, you can also save these filters to quick access later. Let me jump to the second type of filters, location and department. And again, these are more sophisticated because they actually check the individual line items within a bill, not just the header. So let me open here, and let's say I manage bills from Vancouver. And now I can select Vancouver and see all the bills from Vancouver. And I also can combine this with department. So let's say I'm from the IT department. And you can also see here that Procurify knows the context for you. So given that I selected Vancouver before, it actually brought me only the departments from Vancouver. So if I hit IT here, it will scan all the bills with line items from Vancouver IT. So if I open this bill here, I can see that this bill appears because it's from Vancouver IT. This update is all about helping you cut through the noise and get straight to the bills that matter to you. Now let me pass to Matt, who is going to cover payments.
Thanks for the demo, Fred. Okay, so the end of the procure to pay cycle is obviously payments, and one of the things that we've done in 2025 is made it you could now mark external payments through Procurify. But we do hope that you use Procurify's internal bill payments. And so in 2025, we launched direct debit, so you can pay bills directly from your bank account or bank accounts in Procurify. And we do have very high daily volume limits, so we do hope you check that out. In addition to direct debit, we've also made the vendors and payments searchable in Procurify, so you can have all of your payments in one place and have your procure to pay auditable for future record keeping. Next slide, Josh. The other thing we've done to help make bill payments more streamlined is we've launched a few automations. So the first one is pay on approval. You can now trigger payments so that when you do final approval in Procurify, they will automatically start processing for payment, or you can schedule them later. And when we hit that date, those payments will also start to trigger. The other thing we've launched is enhanced payment preparation. So we've really streamlined the amount of clicks that need to happen in order for you to prepare payment. The first one is through a default payment method. You can now schedule that for different vendors, as well as auto-completing banking details for routing numbers and addresses. So we've brought 15 clicks down to 3. And the thing that we're very excited to announce today is we have launched international payments. So this is now live in beta as of today. And we're going to have David demo international payments on Procurify. So with that, I'll hand it over to David, and you can demo our new payments capabilities.
Thanks, Matt. Yeah, and good afternoon, everyone. So I'm super excited to share that we've expanded our bill pay capabilities to support international payments, making global vendor management easier than ever. So let's jump right in and see how that works. So first, I'm going to show you how to create a international payment method. So I'm going to navigate to Manage Payees and add a payment method for my vendor, Amazon UK. So you'll notice that there's a new option alongside our domestic and external payment methods, which is called international. So I'm going to click on that. And once it's selected, I'll enter the country of the vendor bank. So in this case, it's going to be the United Kingdom. And I am then given a choice between a couple local bank transfer methods as well as Swift. So since local transfers are faster and more cost effective than Swift, I'm going to select one of the local ones. And to speed up the process of entering in the vendor's bank information, we have added autocomplete for routing codes as well as addresses. So for example, if the vendor's bank is Barclays, so all I need to do is enter in Barclays here, and then I can very easily select the correct routing code. Next, I will enter the account number as well as account name and give this payment method a nickname. Okay, so next is address. And again, we have autocomplete for address as well. So all I need to do is start typing in the beginning of the address, select the correct one, and what it will do is automatically fill in the rest of the address as well as the city and postal code. Then I just need to click add the payment, and then make this new payment my default. Now let's see how this works during a live payment. So I have a bill from Amazon UK that's ready to be paid. And so I'm going to set that up. And because I've set the new payment method as a default, the system automatically selects the correct payment method, the payment source, as well as the linked bank account for me. And in terms of payment timing, I'm going to have it pay on final approval. And from here, right, the system then also provides an estimated exchange rate based on the current market conditions, as well as it's also going to show you the estimated USD amount that's going to be withdrawn. So to finish, let me just select an approver here and submit the payment for approval. So switching over to the approver's perspective, I can review the pending transaction. So as an approver, I can verify the vendor, the banking details, the estimated flight time, the transaction fee, and the estimated USD amount that's going to be withdrawn. So notably, all payments involving currency exchange are free on our platform, which you can see reflected in the $0 transaction fee here. So with international payments, we've combined global reach with the same simplicity you expect from our platform. This feature is now available for all US bill pay customers. Thank you. I'm going to now pass it over to Fred.
Hi everyone, I'm Fred again, and I'm going to cover here like some of the what's coming next for AP. And here I want to give you the good news. Like we're making entering bills more intuitive and faster with these two upcoming features. First, document side-by-side comparison. So you won't need to scroll up and down to compare the bill info with the invoice document. Like we'll make it the invoice PDF visible throughout the whole process when entering bills. And second feature here is inline edits. So you won't need to have multiple clicks to either add or edit a bill line item manually. You'll be able to do it with one click and using keyboard shortcuts, just as fast as you do when you're using spreadsheets. We know how efficiency is important for AP teams, and we're taking it to the next level here. Now I'll hand over to David, who will cover bulk payment actions.
Yes, so in terms of what's coming next for payments is preparing the ability to bulk prepare as well as approve payments, right? This is a huge time saver for our customers, right? Because it's literally, taking the effort of making a payment run down from hours down to minutes, because you can basically select payments across across vendors as well as across currencies, and be able to set that up in a single workflow. Yep, and back to Matt.
All right, so now to cards and expenses. Josh, if you go to the next slide. So we've made spending card a little bit more intuitive by allowing you to select the card based off of the last four digits and the real-time status of that card. So it's easier to know which card you're funding. And when you're doing the exports for reporting, we have added a couple columns to make it easier to track the status of every transaction. So we now have requester IDs, which allow you to pull the records for each user, as well as the receipts tied to those transactions. And if you're a QuickBooks Online customer, you can also push those spending card transactions directly to QBO just with one click. Next slide, Josh. So we have launched international payments for both our bill payments as well as spending cards. So for US and UK customers, you can now use spending card globally anywhere in the world that accepts Visa. And with the next announcement, for any Canadians, we are launching spending card in 2026. So for any fellow Canadians, please look out for that in the near future. And with that, I'll pass it back to Amelia.
Thanks, Matt. Next slide, please. So you may have heard of Spend Insights, which is our analytics platform. We launched it back in May 2025, and this first iteration was only available to super users. We've now made it so that Spend Insights is available to more user roles without the sacrifice of keeping control on who gets what level of information. So from this, specific permissions can be assigned to different roles, so your teams can get the analytic benefits and see what is most relevant for their roles. And passing it to Anon for a demo of how to configure this.
Thanks, Amelia. 1 second. Cool. So we have made it incredibly easy and simple for admins to manage who can access or who gets access to Spend Insights. It can be either part of the standard roles. If you want someone to get reporting access, you can add them to the standard reporting role. Or in cases where the same person has to take care of multiple things, like for instance, they have to play the role of approver, AP, and also reporting. We have the flexibility of creating custom roles, like for instance, finance admins, and give module level access and include Spend Insights as part of it. And within Spend Insights, you can even control further who gets access to what report or what Spend Insights dashboard exactly. Yeah, whether you're using a preset role or a custom group, you have total control over your data security without the administrative headache. Thank you. Josh. Okay, next up, I'm really excited and thrilled to talk about what's coming up with Spend Insights. We've been working on something you've been asking for, which is the budget versus actual spend dashboard. We have made this a top priority and are currently in the discovery phase to ensure it hits every mark for you. The goal is to give you a side-by-side view of your budget versus allocation. You won't just see the final number, you'll be able to track exactly how much of that budget is in what state, from purchased all the way to the build. If you see a number that looks off, you can drill down into the specific line item to see exactly what's driving that spend. And for other deeper questions, our Spend Analyst AI is built right in. So you can just ask it for insights rather than digging through a spreadsheet. We are building this to be your unified source for monitoring with total confidence. Yeah, stay tuned for more to come soon. I'll now hand it over back to Amelia. Thank you.
Thank you, Anand. So continuing to platform enhancements, you can now automatically sync approved bills to your ERP to provide immediate visibility and consistent behavior across integrations. And this update allows you to eliminate manual accounting steps to automatically keep your ERP up to date. The sync also increases the integration value between Procurify and the ERP together. You can enable this in the integration settings on bill approval, and it's shown in the image on the slide. When this is toggled on, bills are automatically sent to your accounting and no manual syncs are needed. Passing it to Tony, our product manager for platform, to share what else is new.
Thanks, Amelia. We're introducing a new and expanded NetSuite integration specifically for the AP workflow. We've added functionality such as the ability to sync expense and credit card bills, and as well as attachments that are uploaded to the bill itself will also now be synced to NetSuite when bills are synced. And if you're using NetSuite legacy tax and Procurify tax codes, we also now sync legacy tax codes that are on a bill if they're being used. Coming from the NetSuite side, we've also added the ability for payment statuses on bills to be updated in Procurify when bills are marked as paid in NetSuite. This is a net new integration and will be rolled out in the coming months depending on your NetSuite integration configuration. Next, I want to share a quick look at what's coming up. We're introducing a helpful new feature to make reconciliation between Procurify and your ERP much easier. It's the ability to manually mark bills as synced. So when a bill can't be completed or synced for whatever reason, or if a bill already exists in your ERP, you can simply mark it as synced in Procurify to keep everything aligned. That's all for the insights and integration section. I'll pass it over to Jonathan to talk about our Procurify vision.
Well, thank you, Tony. As you can see from the presentation today, we have a robust and extensive roadmap with many exciting new features, new experiences, and enhancements that are either recently launched or much more coming soon across the intake-to-pay workflow. Next slide, please. So at Procurify, our mission has always been to help organizations work smarter, saving time and effort, improving visibility and control, enhancing compliance, and reducing risk. And our teams have been busy harnessing AI to especially supercharge that mission. Over the past few years, we have rolled out a wave of new AI-powered capabilities. That includes AI-powered contract management, invoice processing, 3A auto match, spend insights, and now AI intake for orders, which we're very excited about. We're very proud of the fact that our customers have already saved millions and significantly reduced cycle times by using Procurify. And we're just getting started. Next slide. Now, as you might have heard at Pulse, we believe we're entering a new era in procurement and in spend management. Our mission is to deliver an agentic and purpose-built intake-to-pay platform, and we're taking bold steps in 2026 towards that vision. With the power of agentic AI, we're focused on harnessing an intelligence layer with the goal of helping you save time and effort, gain visibility and insights, ensuring compliance and control, and prevent unauthorized spend before it occurs. Across our entire intake-to-pay journey, we're thinking very deeply about how to further enhance our platform to improve your everyday experience, whether you're a requester, an approver, or whether you're part of a business team, procurement team, finance team, or AP team. Our goal is to free you up from the mundane, repetitive, and error-prone tasks so that you can spend more time on driving your business forward. Next slide. So we see a future where intelligent and autonomous AI agents don't just support your work, they will participate in it, where these agents can interact with you and your teams and streamline your entire process. With Procurify, your organization will gain access to a growing team of specialized AI agents, purpose-built to enhance and accelerate your procurement workflows. Agents that can take on the tedious, repetitive work and guide your teams through complex process, and agents that can help ensure that nothing slips through the cracks. They will act as an extension of your team and working alongside you to automate tasks, surface insights, flag anomalies, and answer common questions or requests in real time. They won't just make your process faster, they'll make them smarter and more strategic. We call this vision agentic procurement, and you'll see us starting to realize this in 2026. So we have so much more to come on this very soon, and we look forward to sharing more with you and getting your feedback as we progress. Lastly, I just want to thank you for being our customers and our partners in this journey. Back to you, Josh.
Great. Thank you, Jonathan, and to the entire team for sharing all of the updates that Procurify has shipped over the past 6 months and giving us a little bit of a tease of some of the things that are coming soon and our broader vision for what we see as that new era of procurement. So very exciting stuff. Before we get into the Q&A, I really just want to spend a minute on how you can keep up to date with Procurify. So first, to stay up to speed on all of the product releases that we're shipping, and as you can see, we are shipping a lot very fast. You can check out the Procurify changelog. This is where we are going to track everything that comes out from Procurify so that you can make sure that you are on the cutting edge of everything that you can leverage to maximize the impact that this has on your organization's procurement processes. So anytime here you want to check out what's new, you can go to procurify.com/changelog. And a big shout out to the team at Procurify for launching this brand new changelog just this week. So it's all here for you as a source of truth for everything new at Procurify. And if you are currently a Procurify client and you're using Procurify, if you want to learn about what's new and dig in a little bit deeper, reach out to your customer success manager. They would be more than happy to dig into all the things that we talked about today and more to make sure that you are making the most out of Procurify throughout your journey, wherever you are, whether you're recently onboarding to Procurify or you're a Procurify veteran, your customer success manager can help you through that journey and maximize the value for your organization. And if you're not yet a client of Procurify and you are evaluating procurement tools currently, I would encourage you to check out our buyer's guide. The 2026 update was just released last week, so definitely check out this resource to help you better understand what the market looks like and make sure that you are making an informed software choice for your organization. You can download a copy of this, as you can see here, at procurify.com/buyer's guide. That's buyer's dash guide. And you can learn more about you become a more informed buyer of procurement software. Okay, so that concludes the presentation, and we have about 10 or so minutes here for some Q&A. So thank you all for sticking with us so far. We'll now open up the floor to your questions. So if you haven't asked questions in the Q&A yet, feel free to type those questions now. I'm going to stop sharing actually, I'll keep my screen share going, but I will start pulling up some questions here, and I will ask the team if there is anything. Okay, there's a few here already that I see. So I'll start walking through some of these, and I'll ask some of the speakers who have already been on this call to jump in. The first one from Lisa: how does your system recognize our account codes? I think this is in reference to the AI intake for orders feature that was talked about at the very beginning of today's presentation. So Anand, can you give us a little bit more details on how the AI works, specifically around account codes, but also kind of just in general, maybe?
Yeah, so what we do is the AI tries to extract line items from your code and tries to verify if the same line item has been ordered in the past. It takes into consideration the description and also the description of account codes, uses all of these as a context to recommend the best possible account code. Yeah.
Well, that's
Thanks.
great. Thank you. Okay, a few more to go through. One that I have here, is there a duplicate line item option within a bill? Fred, David, does someone want to jump in and talk a little bit more about how to manage bill items today and maybe how we're going to be managing bill items in the near future?
Thanks, Josh. Yes, and this is one of the exciting pieces of streamlining and making inline edits of bills more efficient. So that's part of the roadmap, as part of the improvements of making, streamlining the inline edits is actually being able to not only create but actually duplicate the line items. So stay tuned.
Excellent. Thank you, Fred. All right, next question up. Also from Vaughn. Do vendors get a remittance email of what has been paid through Procurify? I think this was answered in the chat actually, but it might be worth repeating for other folks who are interested in using payments in Procurify. So, David, I'm going to call you out and see if you can elaborate a little bit on this question and help answer that for the folks on the call.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Josh. Yeah, we are actually working on this feature. It's going to be ready later this quarter.
Excellent. As easy as that. Thank you, David. Amazing. All right, so look out for that in the next few months here. All right, I have another one. I think this one's for you, Fred. Will the merged invoice items against the PO translate to multiple rows within our accounting system? The invoice shows 3 rows. The PO showed one. What will our accounting show when synced? Fred, can you elaborate on that one a little bit?
Sounds good. Yes. When you match multiple invoice items into a PO, single line item of a PO, it will create a bill with a single line item. So that will sync the bill with only a single line item.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. I got another one for you, Fred. We're just going back at you. Lots of AP questions. I'd love to see the engagement on AP here. Is there a timeline on granular user permissions for AP? We have multiple locations, and currently, if a user has access to AP, they see every location. Is there any updates to what we're doing around location permissions and roles?
We do have granular permissions that were rolled out for like viewing, editing, that was and roll out to all customers. Um, but Tony, I don't know if you want to talk about like multiple locations or entities.
Yeah, so we'll be looking at our permission structure for AP later in the year, but nothing in the immediate future currently.
Excellent. Thanks, team. All right, another payments question. Can we do bill payments in Canada? Can't wait for spending cards in Canada. Glad you're excited about spending cards in Canada. That's amazing. We do bill payments in Canada. David, you want to tell them about it?
Yes, yeah. So currently in Canada, we support domestic payments. It is actually, the same onboarding as for the upcoming Canadian card. So if you do onboarding for payments, you'll also be able to access cards as well.
Excellent. Thank you, David. Yes, lots of payment options there, which is great. Um, We have some questions around expanding integrations. Tony, you talked a little bit about NetSuite. Can you talk really briefly about some of the focus in the future potentially and what the timelines look? I think we're probably looking further out. You have a few immediate priorities, I believe, right, as far as in integration enhancements?
Yeah, for sure. So we will have more integration enhancements in the near term, particularly like more mapping options. In terms of Business Central specifically, we are looking at beefing up that integration in the second half of this year. A lot of the improvements that I mentioned for NetSuite today will also be available for Business Central. So that's coming in later in the year.
Excellent. Thank you. Okay, another question here. Another AP question. That's great. For approved bill filters, can we filter by only vendor bills and not expense bills? David, Fred, does someone want to jump on and try to answer that question for us?
Sounds good. Yeah, it's part of the filters. So if you go to filters, there'll be a toggle for you to view expense bills only or not. So that's part of our advanced filters.
Excellent. Thank you. I have a question around Riley. This might be for you. It is around orders. This might be related to some of the editing of order header information. When will we be able to add new lines to a submitted request prior to approval? Is that on the radar, or are we focused on some other things right now?
Yeah, at the moment, that particular feature isn't on the radar, but that's great feedback to hear. I'd love to hear more about that use case that you're looking to use that for, but as of right now, that's not something on the roadmap.
Perfect. Thank you. Excellent. There's lots more in here. Just want to go through. Oh, another duplicate line item. Actually, well, I guess this is probably an easy answer as well, Riley. Similar to the duplicate line item for bills. Same question for duplicating line items in requests. I assume we don't have that functionality now, but maybe there's more that you can jump on with the redesigned intake experience potentially.
Yeah, definitely. So we didn't mention it specifically during the presentation earlier, but I did mention we're doing an overall redesign of the order request process. Part of that redesign does involve actually using the same inline editing capabilities that Fred presented about in the bills section, but on the order request section. So you'll have inline editing capabilities within order requests, including more bulk editing functionality like that.
Excellent. Thank you, Riley. I know we are at time, so I'm going to take one or two more, acknowledging that we don't want to go too far over the time limit for today's webinar. But there's a couple that I see right here that I want to make sure that we address here. One I think was addressed during the session, but we'll restate it here. David, this one I think is for you. Are there transaction fees with international bill payments? I think you might have mentioned it, but since there's a question there, it might be worth rehashing.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so any payments that involves currency exchange are free to, yeah, so there will be no transaction fees for those.
Easy. Thank you. And I think we've answered most of the ones up here, acknowledging that we're now a minute over. So I think we should probably call it. I don't want to take too much more time. There are some more questions in here. We will make sure that we address all of these in follow-ups with CSMs. So if you didn't get your question answered here, we'll make sure that we follow up diligently in the coming days. Want to be mindful of everyone's time here. So I'm going to close this off now and want to thank you all for taking the time to join today's Spotlight session. We really appreciate it. This is, as I said, the first one, and we're very excited about making this a continued series to make sure that all of our customers can stay up to date on everything Procurify. I want to thank the presenters today, the product team. Most of the product team was here today, demoing, answering questions. Thank you all. Thank you to the product marketing team and the team behind the scenes coordinating this. Really appreciate all of your support on this. Thank you, folks on the call, and we hope to see you again for the next Spotlight session. Look out for that in summer 2026. So thank you all, and hope you have a great rest of your week.